Greetings, this is Kal Kat, the Kal Katster, and this is a review of A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Yeah, Tom Hanks movie where he plays Mr. Rogers. Fred Rogers from the 70s and all the way to the early 2000s. One of the longest, next to Sesame Street, one of the longest running children's television programs ever. That and Captain Kangaroo, which I don't think it was as many years, but in the same time period in Sesame Street. Those were all these formative years type of stories. The show was not pandering to children. It wasn't. It taught them life lessons and things. It was very down to earth. It was WKED in the East Coast, but be KQED here instead of WQED over there. It was Channel 9, public access at PBS. PBS, it was back when TV was on antennas and radio waves. Early color TV sets. They also had the smaller black and white ones too, just camping ones and stuff, and old Zeniths and things and RCAs, old clunky VCRs, and so I think our first VCRs were late 70s, early 80s, and it was really impressive when they had a front loader. Received when I was like 17. VCR. But yeah, it was long after at that point. I don't know how much Mr. Rogers really affected stuff going on. I'm assuming it did. He was a Presbyterian minister, and he was also a music instructor, and he was a puppeteer, similar to the pastor. Pastor John from our church was a puppeteer, voice guy, music guy. So it was kind of similar. But they were on the East Coast, and we're over here on the West Coast. So, yeah, it was, sure. My mother and I went to see it. So, it was, bring a box of tissues, though, if you go to see this movie, because there are a lot of intensely emotional scenes in it. Tom Hanks does a phenomenal job yet again. He deserves to get yet another Oscar for this movie. Yeah, sure. Best picture and best drama picture of the year. Best comedy of the year so far is Dora and the Lost City of Gold. It is November. It's late November, so there's other things that are coming up. Action picture would have been Final Infinity War Endgame. At this point, So at this point, Mr. Rogers movie best of the year. There were a few others dramas that were good. This one has some lighthearted moments. There are some moments in it, but it's a story of spoiler-free review and entirely DCMA and COPPA compliant. It's a review show, so it's not for little children. But if they want to watch it, I can't stop them. So they'll just be bored because I don't have any footage from anything. So. Anyway, it's a show that's no longer on the air. I don't think. It's got to be in reruns. I mean, it went off the air in 2002 or so. It was only briefly off the air in the 70s. But sure. It was almost a seamless blend of the studio and sets and stuff of the different places and dioramas they go to. They filmed it in the aspect ratio of older movies. So it's a 35mm print. It's not 6:9. It's sort of a little bit less. It's not 16:9. It's 6:9. So it's a little less. Yeah, it's kind of like this camera. This camera would be a little widescreen now. I wanted to have it like so. The guy, Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks plays Fred Rogers, and he does a good job. So the premise of the story is that this white reporter that works for Esquire, who is married to a black lady, they have a kid. He's writing an article. He's sent to write an article on Mr. Rogers. He's known for writing hatchet pieces, or at least exposés, let's say. In this sort of tabloid magazine. It's Esquire. I mean, it's not the Inquirer, but it's tabloidy. It's a little tabloidy, just a little bit. It's kind of high-end tabloid though. Esquire. It's it's kind of like People. So more so than Us, it's more of a tabloid. An Inquirer is really, really tabloid. It's like People. It and a little bit like Time. There used to be the magazines. That was something that was in print, like newspapers. I think there's still an online version of that magazine around, so you can look them up. So they do this report. He's going to do this report on him, but he ends up befriending him, and they end up being friends. And he ends up doing an episode with him and stuff, and the reporter guy has daddy issues, and he becomes sort of a surrogate, helps him out. I was going on about the plot of the movie, so go back to where I was talking, saying, okay, this reporter guy, I want to do this Esquire magazine article, and he befriends him. We can keep the review up to that point. He ends up befriending him, and why don't we just, I'll just do this. I'll just turn that off. I don't know. Okay, let's just match that. That'll work. Okay, so it's matched up with what it was before. So the guy has daddy issues, so he befriends him and becomes a surrogate for him. He makes up with his father, the plot point in the story. He's introduced early on in this picture thing. I remember that. This odd little... and then the family story and the whole... It's told kind of like an episode of the show, but as a movie. But their lives are part of the family life, part of the story is the movie. I'm assuming it was based on a book version of the article, or at least a lot of it was, and that they sort of elaborated. I did read about that afterward, and determined that, well, they've changed the guy's name. They didn't use the same name. The guy in the movie is different, and also the situation is different. It didn't happen exactly in the movie the way it happens in the book. The guy doesn't actually have an infant baby until after, like, they sort of crammed everything together, changed everything around a little bit. The reporter guy actually may not have been in a biracial relationship. He may have just had a relationship. They may have changed that for the movie. I'm not sure why, other than I don't mind. It's just not sure why they changed the guy, and that he didn't actually have a kid yet in the real life. Why they chose to add the other stuff to make an episode out of it. That was a little different, but it's very well done. The acting is very well done. The people are sincere. It's not pandering. Like I mentioned that before. And Mr. Rogers' show tended to be very down to earth. And my mother's odd comment was that they're not snowflakes, but she gets that from Fox News. And on Fox News, everybody that isn't hyper conservative is immediately that. Yeah, this was written. This show was on in the 70s and 80s, and early. The movie takes place in '98, all through the Reagan era and then beyond. So, so basically, so yeah, nobody in the X generation acts like that, or, but yeah, usually the people that complain the most about the snowflake thing are the ones that actually are. Like you have these senator guys, political guys, and whatever. They're complaining about unfair treatment, and they're rich senator guys that are doing bad things, and then saying, "Oh, it's unfair," they're doing bad things. So, yeah, that doesn't really make any sense if you think about it for even a minute. Yeah, it's not even a liberal thing. That's like just doesn't make sense. Anyway, but this movie was not about that. Thankfully, that would have been stupid to be about that. Politics. They wouldn't throw that in there. That word is not mentioned in there because it doesn't make sense. But yeah, you don't talk down to them and belittle them. If the hyper-conservatives want to talk down and belittle everyone else that doesn't agree with them, then Mr. Rogers wouldn't be about that. He would be like, no, don't do that. You know, that's bullying. You don't do that. Even if you can get away with it, you don't do that. So there, I made it a Mr. Rogers lesson. You don't do that. It's not nice. So it's not a matter of somebody being right or wrong. It's whether it's nice or not. So there, that goes. Anyway, that was my review of Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, the movie. Go and see it. Yes. Oh.